Hi guys, and welcome to this new episode of The Inexplicable. Have you ever felt that sudden chill down your spine, as if someone or something was watching you while you were walking near an abandoned house? In Kona, a district of Ferrara, there is a villa unlike any other, an enigmatic building that seems to have absorbed the weight of a dark history into its walls. Villa Magnoni, a name that, for those who know it, evokes images of apparitions, whispers in the night, and above all, a witch. A mysterious figure in black has often been seen near the ruined windows or on the nearby paths. A restless soul, a symbol of a curse, or simply a product of imagination fed by rumors? Here then is the Witch of Villa Magnoni. The villa? As I mentioned earlier, Villa Magnoni is in Kona, a district of Ferrara, surrounded by a landscape that was once characterized by vast farmland and forests. Dating back to the 19th century, it appears as an imposing neoclassical building, with a stern facade and tall windows that seem to watch passers-by with an aura of unsettling solemnity. Its history remains mysterious. Built by a local noble family, the mansion has passed through different eras, hosting owners about whom there is no certain information. In the early 20th century, it became a gathering spot for the Ferrara aristocracy, hosting lavish parties and exclusive meetings. However, during World War II, the building was requisitioned by the Nazis and used as a military outpost. A period that left indelible scars both on its structure and in the collective memory. After the war, the villa changed owners several times and was abandoned by the 1970s. From that moment, disturbing stories started circulating about the same place. Local witnesses report dark figures in the ruins, whispering voices at night, and doors closing on their own. But the turning point was reached in the mid-80s, when a truly disturbing story began to circulate about that forgotten place. The main characters of the story are a group of young people who decided to challenge the legend and venture into the building to explore it. And the experience they had was nothing short of chilling. The encounter with the witch. On a moonless night, 4 young people set out to challenge the rumored curse of Villa Magnoni in total darkness. The building, abandoned for decades now, was one of those places that everyone in the nearby village knew about, but avoided at all costs. No one wanted to go near it. Despite this, that day the curiosity of the 4 young people got the better of them. They got in the car and headed toward the villa, unaware that the place would show them a reality far more disturbing than they could have ever imagined. When they arrived, the silence was palpable. The lights flickered, and the road leading to the rusty gate seemed endless. The air was thick, heavy, but nothing stopped them. Without a second thought, they ventured inside that place forgotten by time. Its peeling walls and dark windows made it look like an abandoned carcass. They went up to the upper floor, where they almost fell to the ground floor because of a huge hole in the floor. But it was just as they began to realize the dangerous situation they had gotten themselves into that they heard a sound of unknown origin. At first, they struggled to understand what it was. Then the sound became unmistakable. It was the cry of a child. How is that possible? Terrified because they knew the house had been abandoned for many years, they rushed outside and cast one last glance at the facade. Only one window looked different. An unsettling reflection stood out against the dirty glass, as if someone was watching them from inside. Then the reflection became clearer and revealed the outline of a very old woman who, without any pleasantries, shouted at them to leave. Her croaking voice had nothing human about it. It seemed to come from another world. Panicking, they rushed toward their car, started it, and sped away. But after driving only a few meters, the car began to shake and swerved violently, taking them off the road. According to one version of the story, only one of the boys survived the crash and called for help. Another version, however, says that all four of them survived, but they were so shocked by the experience that it took them a long time to get over the terror they had felt. After learning what had happened, the local authorities had the entrances and windows of the villa bricked up. But after a few days, one of them appeared open again, without the bricks that had been used to seal it, wide open and menacing. And according to what people say, it was the very same window from which the mysterious old woman had leaned out and shouted at the four boys to leave. Who was that unsettling figure, and what was she doing in that abandoned house that night? And this is where the mystery begins. The witch and the paranormal phenomena. Well, according to the legend, the menacing figure that crossed the path of the four young people that night was a woman who lived centuries ago. She was accused of practicing dark arts and being in contact with supernatural forces. Some say she was just a simple healer, knowledgeable about the medicinal properties of plants and the secrets of nature. Others, however, portray her as a damned soul responsible for unexplainable events and a harbinger of misfortune. A real witch, in short. Sure, put like that, it sounds like a simple folk legend fueled by fear and superstition. However, if it's true that behind every legend there is a grain of truth, the idea of some local historians to investigate her story more deeply, helped by real testimonies from that time, made it possible to reconstruct her story. Some suggest that her presence may be rooted in a real case, that of a woman who lived in that area between the 17th and 18th centuries, accused of witchcraft during one of the many inquisitorial trials of the time. Maybe she was an outcast. That's why her real name was never recorded for us. But in the absence of concrete evidence that could reveal her true identity, she remains a figure mostly shrouded in mystery. What has actually been passed down to us, however, is the account of the numerous sightings and paranormal phenomena that are said to have really happened in that place. Many of those who have dared to cross the threshold of Villa Magnoni say they experienced a sudden wave of cold that swept through the rooms, despite the high summer temperatures. Others claim to have heard barely perceptible whispers, voices in unknown languages that seemed to come out of nowhere. The locals have always lived with a mix of curiosity and fear regarding the presence of this villa. The village elders recall stories passed down through generations. Strange lights that turn on by themselves on the darkest nights, and doors that slam violently for no reason. Some residents swear they have seen a female figure suddenly appear in one of the upper windows, a pale, expressionless face that stared at them motionless before vanishing into thin air. Villa Magnoni's reputation has drawn attention from paranormal investigators. Groups of researchers have recorded electromagnetic anomalies and unexplained thermal variations. In some audio recordings made in the middle of the night, whispering voices and the sounds of footsteps crossing the empty rooms seem to be captured. A famous video shot by a ghost hunter shows a dark figure that briefly appears on one of the villa's walls before dissolving into the air. Some believe that that figure is the ultimate proof of the witch's spirit being present, while others remain more skeptical. The photographs taken inside the building have further fueled the legend. Blurry images, indistinct reflections in the mirrors, strange shadows that have no logical explanation. All elements that have made the villa more fascinating and mysterious. Some experts have tried to analyze this evidence, but no rational explanation has been able to completely dispel the mystery. Villa Magnoni thus remains an unsolved enigma, a place where the line between legend and reality seems to dissolve, leaving room for uncertainty. Anyone who had the adventure leaves with a sense of unease, as if something or someone was with them but never actually seen. According to some versions of the legend, the witch who lived in the villa centuries ago was unjustly executed, and her restless soul would keep roaming the rooms seeking revenge. The belief in the curse is further strengthened by the stories of those who claim to have suffered strange accidents after visiting the building, like sudden illnesses, unexplained malfunctions of electronic devices, or recurring nightmares. Parapsychologists finally suggest that if the villa were truly the scene of paranormal events, it could be a case of residual energy. According to this theory, places where traumas or traumatic events have occurred could retain traces of those experiences, manifesting as sounds, images, or sensations. Whatever the truth, the witch's legend still holds an irresistible fascination. Are they layers of suggestion, optical illusions, or an actual presence? Villa Magnoni remains a place shrouded in mystery, always ready to welcome new visitors, eager to uncover its secrets or to be swept away by its unsettling atmosphere. The legend of the Witch of Villa Magnoni has gone beyond the boundaries of a simple local story to become a true cultural phenomenon. The dark events surrounding the villa have been explored and reinterpreted by numerous media outlets, fueling the fascination with this enigmatic figure. Articles and documentaries have helped spread the myth, enriching it with new nuances and mystery, but always keeping the interest around this legendary figure alive. But the allure of Villa Magnoni hasn't stopped at literature or documentaries. Mystery tourism has seen its popularity explode, attracting the curious urban explorers and ghost hunters. Of course, but the real question we have to ask is this simply a popular legend that has stayed alive over time? Or could there be some truth to what is being told? It's time to let the skeptics have their say. The Witch of Villa Magnoni has intrigued generations, inspiring tales of apparitions, curses, and strange events. But what lies behind this legend? One of the most widely accepted theories among skeptics is that the alleged apparitions are the result of collective suggestion, combined with the typical features of a ruined building. After so many years of abandonment, Villa Magnoni has a decaying structure, broken windows, peeling walls, and a gloomy atmosphere that enhances the feeling of unease. The architecture and condition of the villa can contribute to optical and acoustic illusions. Some scholars have suggested, among other things, that the shadows of the trees cast on the walls, combined with the play of nighttime lights, can give the impression of being in the presence of ghostly figures. Furthermore, the shape of the building could amplify sounds in unusual ways. Creaking wood, the wind whistling through broken windows, small animals moving inside are easily mistaken for whispers or eerie moans. There's also another thing to consider. To clarify these phenomena, historians and folklore scholars have closely examined the Villa Magnoni case. They noted that many legends about witches and cursed women stem from ancient persecutions of women seen as outside social norms. This is a typical narrative pattern: a mysterious woman, an abandoned house, and a large number of supernatural events that follow her death. But if you think about it, a legend so deeply rooted in the collective imagination of folklore doesn't deserve to be destroyed by the opinion of skeptics. Because although it's hard to believe that this supposed witch is the origin of the paranormal phenomena that are described, the fascination it holds for everyone who has told its story or studied it is 100% real. What do you think about Villa Magnoni? Legend, reality? Let me know in a comment. The Unexplainable is an original format, written and directed by Luca Parella, with sound design by Matteo D'Alessandro. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a like, subscribe to the channel on YouTube, or share it with your friends. Greetings, and see you at the next episode of The Unexplainable.